So today we're going to dive into a story, right? A story from my life, right? And we have to debunk these people out here, these far left liberals out here who are constantly trying to drive that divide between men and women, as if the average man has no desire to protect the women and children that he sees around him, almost to demonize all of us or the majority of us and put us into this category of being unsafe and that women do not need us in society. And as a black man, we're primarily going to be discussing that in relation to black men and black women protection. So your boy is a licensed real estate agent for the state of Maryland and life insurance agent. So that's primarily what I do for work during the day. And due to my wife who's pregnant with our second son, I decided since she's off of work now, you know what? Why don't I get an overnight job bringing a little bit more money? So it's been a while since I've worked in regular customer service positions, but I decided to take an overnight position with Royal Farms, right, where I work with several black women who are constantly being harassed. And it's an overnight position, so constantly we have drunk people who come in who are belligerent, who are hostile to the women. And being the only man that's on shift, I technically have to step into the situation. And typically, what happens is something a little bit like this. Now, besides the constant fighting and just confrontations that I need to have in order to protect the black women that I work with, right? There was a situation last night, actually, where there was a gorgeous, beautiful 10 out of 10 black women who came into the store, right? And she was with this guy and she looked scared for her life. So I understood the situation immediately because she was blinking at me a lot, giving me signals to help her. I pulled her to the side while the guy said he was running to the bathroom, and she pretty much ended up telling me that she was being trafficked, right? So I was able to lock her in the bathroom and get the cops called, and they came and they picked her up and they were able to take her home. The man she was with ended up coming outside of the bathroom and he pressed me. He threatened me and then threatened my life after I got off my shift, right? So he was waiting outside. I ended up deciding, you know what? It's been about 4 or 5 nights in a row that I've gotten into like these strange altercations where I've had my life threatened or I had to put hands on somebody. So let me get up out of here, right? And the response I got from that was absolutely despicable. The guy who threatened my life was actually waiting outside, pacing back and forth, waiting for me to come outside because he was a regular. He used to come around there drunk, and then he used to see me running out the trash. So I guess he knew I was gonna run out trash, so I would have eventually have come outside. So he was actively waiting to take my life. So I told my coworkers, I told the young ladies, I said, you know what, these guys are not necessarily here for you, they're here for me, but I'm gonna leave, right? So I left, and I got a phone call, and that phone call pissed me off. Now, mind you, none of these black women ever said thank you, ever showed any appreciation for me risking my life for them, for me actually protecting them as if they were my girlfriend. Now, mind you, I have a wife and children that I have to protect my damn self, and this is them, right? But I protected them and I never got any appreciation for it. But the next day I got a phone call, and that phone call was pretty much a black woman manager telling me or what kind of a man I am for leaving those girls in the store. After the police showed up, they took the woman home and they didn't do anything to arrest the guy. So I had to leave to protect my life and get home to my wife and children, right? And instead of a thanks for protecting the store, like I told you, this has never been appreciated. She just told me, what kind of a man are you, right? And then she ended up saying, pathetic ass niggas. My manager. This is my manager, by the way. So originally, obviously, in the moment, instinctually protecting these young black women, it felt just instinctual, you know, the same way you would protect your mother or your child or your sister, right? Because I have black mother and a black sister and I have black daughter, right? But at the end of the day, right, the lack of appreciation, the complete disregard for my humanity, right, is a real big issue when you have a lot of people who are pushing propaganda like you see in this live stream. A lot of these people are broken and they're traumatized. They don't understand I am the average black man. There is nothing special about me. There's nothing that makes me superior to any other man, right? At the end of the day, for the most part, we got our sisters, regardless of who we're dating, regardless of all the little nuances that people try to put into the situation to divide. At the end of the day, black men got black women, and the appreciation that we get in return is diabolical. We get put on the stake and we get put in a position where it's like we're treating you poorly and or more poor than any other race or any other demographic of man. Black men are almost bottom tier in these people's minds, and they project that on the internet when you got dudes out here like me risking my life for sisters that I'm not with and not tied to. So, black men, I say this to you, man. Live your life, brother. Live your life. Always have respect for the sisters, for black women, because we come from black women at the end of the day. But live your life. These women are not entitled to your protection. At the end of the day, shit gonna get you killed, bro.